It's Reckless Rock Radio on KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas, Fort Worth, the voice of the people, with Lee Russell, Big Mix Lee, Lou Morris, and I am Lay. Kicked it off with Spicole. Nit Singer with Control, kicking that off. It's going to be a guitar God-oriented show. Anyway. There's this guy calling here in about 5-10 minutes.
If he's listening, he's not calling anymore.
Well, probably not now. But
it's over now.
What is wrong with these headphones?
They're
anyway
on your head.
Yeah. Have you tried putting them over your ears?
Look at them backwards. Way to go, dude. It's all right. It's all right.
It's just weird.
The ear part. The speaker goes to your head.
He's done this before, definitely. Yeah,
it's all right.
He's got some experience.
We're making for good radio, that's for sure.
Yeah. Hey, there it goes.
There.
Yeah. Fixed.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Oh my God, that's great.
It's amazing what happens when they're actually facing your ears, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, so Andy Timmons is going to call in here in a few minutes, and we're going to ask him a lot of questions about his Danger Days, the Hot in the Shade Kiss tour. Lee wants to know about that one show they did with Warrant.
Yeah.
I want to know about...
I want to know the guitar tech stuff.
He wants
the techie stuff.
Such dorky stuff. Why do you want to ask that?
Because I'm a guitar
Ask how much tail he got on the road.
You're supposed to ask questions that haven't been asked 10,000 times.
Yes, exactly. That's why I'm going to ask him about girls on the road.
I've seen his interviews. I know some of the ones that haven't been asked.
Okay, cool.
So.
Well, make sure you ask those.
Ask those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hey, is he calling from out of town or
no idea?
Is he in town?
He didn't tell me, so we'll find. There's the first question you can ask him when he calls.
So where are you calling from?
There you go.
Yeah. Hi, you're on the air. Where are you calling from? You're caller number 9.
Just read out the caller ID number so you can make sure it's him.
Timmons on the phone. Does anybody know who this is?
Because if he's calling from McKinney, I'm going to be very upset. I offered to go pick him up.
Hey, the dude just got back from Asia, so
he's probably tired. Yeah, you're right. Okay, he gets a pass. I still would have gone to pick him up.
But then you would have taken him out on a date. We would have never got him over here.
I would not have taken him on a date.
Oh, he's never calling now.
I also want to know if he's still friends with Dale Hansen from News 8 Sports.
That's a question only he knows.
Well, this is all the...
And Dale Hansen.
Yeah, he's going to hate. He is not calling in. If he's listening, Andy, if you're calling in, I'm the only normal guy here, and good luck with this. But we're going to try really hard.
Yeah. We'll apologize in advance.
We're going to keep it professional.
Yeah.
This time.
Heard that before.
Yeah. No, this time it's going to be professional because I wanted to call back.
If you saw I put on his headphones earlier, that's going to be questionable.
I want to be nice because if he actually thinks we did an okay job and he likes talking to us, I want him to actually come in and with a guitar one time.
And I want him to sign these things.
Yeah. There you go.
Please call Andy. We love you.
Yeah. I think we have a caller on the line.
Yeah, I think we have a caller on the line.
Yeah. And Andy, if you can hear us, I'm going to bring you in now, so you're going to be live. So you know all the
radio,
all the famous words you can't say.
Go ahead and spit them out now.
Can you hear me? All right.
Yeah. If you have a radio on, you're going to have to turn it off. But I don't know.
No, I don't. I was
cool.
listening on my app a second ago, but it's turned off now.
Oh, very good. Now, before we even get started, I have to warn you about these two guys that I do this show with.
Well, he's already met me, so...
he's met me before, too. I bothered him while he was at having a drink one place.
Right. Well,
I really did.
This show is called Reckless Rock Radio for a reason. It's very reckless, so...
well, right on. I can hang, man. I can hang.
At any point, if you want to get out of this, just hang up and we'll see how long it takes us to find out.
I would never do that, but man, it's good to talk to you guys. Right on.
We've been trying to have you on for a couple years now. I blame my
obsession.
Not obsession. Okay, obsession and procrastination for not having you in, and I apologize.
That's okay. I know it was the last little bit got lost in communication with. I was traveling a bunch, but now I'm home. I'm home for a stretch, so I'm not calling from McKinney. Of course, I'm in Tunisia.
Oh wow!
No, I'm not. I'm totally lying. I'm in McKinney. I'm sorry.
You're in McKinney. I could have came and picked you up.
I'm literally like
you're 10 minutes away.
I'm less than 30 minutes from your dude. All I can say is if I wasn't calling you guys, I'd probably be just about asleep right about now.
Oh, fair enough. You're tired. How was Asia?
No, it was great. We did 3 nights in Tokyo, then we did a few in Taiwan, and then one last show in Seoul in South Korea.
Yeah, I saw the pictures.
No, but I've been home for a couple of weeks. So I'm over jet lag. I just when I'm home, man, I crash out early because we get up early to take my son to school, and
Oh yeah.
rock and roll.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, living that rock and roll lifestyle.
That's right. Well, yeah, for sure.
We're thrilled. We're thrilled that you called. So once again, thank you very much.
No problem, man. I really enjoyed. Man, the first couple of tunes you played. That first Singer cut I hadn't heard before. I could have sworn when the guitar started off, I thought it was early Nugent. That was killing. What a great guitar sound.
Yeah, he's one of ours, and we love him. Good old Johnny Singer.
So amazing. And then of course, Bugs. Golly, man. It took me a second to recognize what that was, and I recognized his voice. After a while there,
Did you ever get to go see those cats back in the day when they were?
I played a lot with Bugs. In fact,
oh, is that right?
Nice.
I'm on one of his records called 410 Strike Again, and we did a lot. We did a lot of playing together. He would, if I was at one of his shows, he'd have me up and we'd play. And he's just what a treasure, that guy. Such a wonderful player. An encyclopedia of guitar. Just knew so much. And
that tends to happen to you a lot, right? Where you're just happen to be in the crowd and somebody grabs you and takes you up on stage, apparently.
Well, man, I mean, you're probably talking about that Steve Vai show.
I am.
Well, it's one of those things where, when you're a kid and you're going to shows, you're like, that's like you're just dying for that to happen, right? And so I guess the longer I've been doing it, the more it tends to happen. So I feel very blessed just because these guys are my heroes.
Well, I guarantee you, if I'm ever playing anywhere, guitar somewhere, you would be the last guy I would bring up to play next to me. Because,
come on, man!
Yeah.
I would just hand him the guitar and let him do it.
We would
just make him work.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite
guitar?
Yeah, that has taken you up and that you've gotten to jam with? Or?
Well, golly, there's been a bunch, man. Obviously, every time I've been with either Satriani or Vi has been great. There was a couple of times at the Granada that Eric Johnson had me get up, which is just an incredible honor. And one of those times was with Mike Stern as well, who's one of my big heroes as far as like kind of jazz fusion stuff. So to play on stage with those two iconic guitar tones was just incredible.
Have you ever been up with Ace Frehley?
I have. I have done that. I know, and this happened. I mean, 'cause you guys know that, Kiss is my ground zero.
No, I didn't, but now we got a lot more to talk about.
I learned how to play guitar from the Kiss Alive record.
Nice. Wow.
Well, you're doing it wrong, Andy. You're bending your notes all the way.
Oh man.
It was the first Ted Nugent record. That was my learning. That was my first education. So I've got to play with Nugent. I mean, I did play with Ted, but I got to play with Ace. It was like 1994, and there used to be a chain of music stores in Florida called Thoroughbred, and they would do kind of like their own mini NAMM shows down there. And there was one time I was there. I think I was maybe playing for Ibanez or Mesa Boogie, but Ace Frehley was there and Steve Morse. So I got to play Cruise Control with Steve Morse the same night I played Cold Gin with Ace Frehley.
Wow.
And that's just, it's one of those things I could never have imagined that would have happened ever when I was a kid, because my first concert was Destroyer in 1976.
Nice.
So I got to see the guys back in the day.
Nice.
So that's
cool.
To play with Ace was a dream come true, no doubt about it.
No offense to our other guests that have been on the show, but you're probably the most legit guest we've had.
Well, I'm sorry if this is as good as it gets, but I'll do the best I can, but
Yeah, don't set the bar too high. We're not going to be able to reach it. So.
Oh, come on, man!
I will say, you two on stage just was insane. That was like an amazing.
He's magic. I first saw him when he had the Eric Gales band when he was like 16 or 17. They played the Dallas City Limits. That had to be the early 90s.
Yeah.
And he already had a record deal with his older brothers, and he was fully formed at that age. He was already killing it. And now he's doing better than ever, man. I'm so happy for him. I'm proud of him. He's been sober now for many years, and he sounds better than ever, man. He's really got a special gift.
Now, Andy, I have to jump in here. You can't say that word on the air. I hope I hit the dump button fast enough.
What?
The S word.
Oh, what did I say?
Well, I can't tell you what you said. That wouldn't work very well.
When I mentioned Eric Gales, you mentioned
crap. Yeah.
Spectacular. Okay, I'm sorry. Did I
You're
get
fine.
me all hanging out with rock dudes. Next thing I know, I'm comfortable. And I swear to you, though, my sincere apology. I
No, it's all
didn't
good.
even notice it if something happened. So sorry about that.
Yeah, you're fine, dude.
Yeah.
All right.
Now back
Excuse me, Mom, if you're listening.
I think I got it, so I think we're all right.
All right, cool. Yay, I said stupendous. That's what we have for.
Yeah.
Can we take you back in time, Andy, please?
I'm happy to go anywhere you'd like to go, I think, mostly.
All
As long
right.
as he doesn't have to leave the house.
That was a safe
You don't
answer.
have to leave the house. Just relax. I just have a question about now. 94.5 Z-Rock in 1989 had a segment called Smash or Trash.
Yes, wow.
The It's Getting Better demo was played on it,
Yep.
and I would like to know how that demo landed you the first endorsement with Kramer Guitars, and how did that land you the gig with Danger Danger?
That's crazy. You must have been the one guy that heard that, except for me and my roommate. We were like thrilled, like, because we couldn't believe this was being played on the radio. Man, it was Steve Fratt on the air that night. Did Steve Fratt spin it? Do you remember Steve?
I do, but I've
Okay.
had a lot to drink and sleep since then. I was 9 years old that night, and now I'm
Were you-
38.
Very good. You're aging well.
Thank you.
Well, that was, man, that goes all the way back to that was actually recorded in '88. So yeah, it was a song called "It's Getting Better," and it was the very first recording that the Andy Timmons band did. It was Mitch Marine on drums and Mike Dane on bass, who's basically was the foundation of all those solo recordings of mine and Andy Timmons band stuff. Mm-hmm. But we recorded just that one track. In fact, we had recorded it to enter into a sound page competition for Guitar Player magazine. We didn't make it into the contest. I think we missed the deadline or something, but that was kind of the impetus. Hey, let's record this song. And then I have no memory of how I heard about the Smash or Trash thing, but we obviously sent it in. I don't remember if we got smashed or trashed.
Probably smashed.
Was it really?
It had to be really bad to be trashed back then.
Good.
I remember that. That went until like 94, 95.
Wow.
And
Okay.
it had to be really bad for it to be trashed.
That would have been the first airplay for the Andy Timmons band. But Steve Pratt had me on, probably after I got the gig with Danger Danger, but he had me on several times live locally. I'd go up there and play guitar and jam along with Foghat or whatever records he was playing. That was great.
Score.
Going back to that It's Getting Better track,
Thank you.
Because you were asking about Kramer Guitars, and that track was actually kind of the track that got me the gig in Danger Danger, but it was through the artist relations guy of Kramer Guitars, who's a guy named Buddy Blaze. Y'all know Buddy?
Absolutely. I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Buddy
He's a great friend of the show.
But Buddy's fantastic, and he came to fame by building guitars for Daryl and for Vivian Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And so he, I didn't know him at that point. I was living here in Texas. Obviously, we'd recorded that track. I didn't know him yet, but he had some. He knew a couple of bands that were looking for a guitar player. One was Bad English.
Nice.
Oh, I remember those guys. Yeah.
Bill Sean and
exactly Jonathan Kane and John Waite.
John Waite.
And so, in fact, it was for that band that he contacted a local guy named David Huff, who had Jam Magazine back then. And he was asking David, say, hey, these guys are looking for like a blues rock guy, who's happening in town. And my name got recommended to David, who then put me in touch with Buddy. And I sent my demo tape not only to Buddy Blaze, but also to Jonathan Kane for the Bad English gig, right? So I kind of started working with Buddy for Kramer at that time, and then they sent got my tape sent to Jonathan Kane, and I flew out to audition. This is before Danger Danger. Flew out to audition for Bad English, and I got the gig.
Nice.
They had Neil Sean had done the demos for the first record, but then he bailed because he was doing a record for Columbia. So he had a solo deal, and he had a record coming out called Late Night. Okay. And so he initially bailed on the gig. So a bunch of guys auditioned. I went out, got the gig. He said, "Well, we're going to fly out and after that audition, and we'll do a test week with you, see how it goes." Mm-hmm. During that first week, Neil Sean called them back, said, "Yeah, well, I'm kind of rethinking things," and so they sent me home, going, "Well, we're going to spend a week with Neil now. We'll let you know how it goes." Right?
Oh man.
So obviously that gig didn't work out because at that point they had a half a journey. I didn't stand a chance.
Right.
But I did get to meet, I met Neil the last day that I was there. I knew Neil was coming in, so I had at the rehearsal studio in LA. I had the guy bring in an extra amp, so we had a killer jam session.
Nice.
Together. And he was really sweet to me, and he still is. Anytime I see him, he's a really nice cat. And obviously another big hero. But it was right after that, Buddy Blaze said, "Oh, don't worry about that. This is other band, Danger Danger. They're signed. They got a record coming out. They need a guitar player." So that's how that got started. But it was all from that first demo tape.
Now, what was your impression of Danger Danger when you met them?
Oh, when I met them, I love the guys. I mean, we're still all very, very dear friends.
Right.
Honestly, you know, when I heard the material compared to what I'd heard with Bad English, it was like, oh man, I'm not sure if this is really the best thing for me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I thought there was some great tunes. There was obviously some tunes I would have been happier not doing. But
like which ones? Just kidding.
No,
I'm not going to go.
I'm kidding.
No, I actually have a danger story that I've been telling forever, and I have to tell you. And once I tell you, I can probably put it to bed and never have to tell it anymore because it's come full circle. Then
this is therapy for you.
Yeah,
that might be good.
This is therapy for me for sure.
The thing about the Danger gig was I knew that it was a great opportunity for me,
right.
and I like I said, I love the guys in the band. I like a lot of the music. Dearly, so it is a very
those are great records. I don't care what anybody says.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I agree. I'll never forget when I first joined the band and I moved up to the East Coast because they're New York based. And Ted Poley, the singer, was living in Hackensack, so I ended up moving in with him because I had nowhere to stay. So we worked it out. I was going to live with him. I'll never forget the first day grabbing my acoustic guitar. And he and I were going to work on some of the tunes because I was learning the songs. They'd already recorded the record. I got to overdub a couple of solos when they were mixing, but long story short, I remember Ted started, heck, this guy sounds amazing. Can you believe that?
Yeah, we got you.
I think I hit the button again.
Yeah.
We'll find out tomorrow. Now,
Lee's master in the dumps, so don't worry about it.
I don't want to.
Yeah. Well, my thing was with the Danger So is I'm from Canada, and I saw Danger opening for Warrant. And I don't know how familiar I was with Danger at the time, but what I do remember clearly is that you guys destroyed Warrant, talent-wise. You just wiped the stage with them. You guys came out and did excellent, and then they came out and did not excellent.
Well, that's one of my fondest memories because that was our first tour.
Right.
We literally, our record had just come out, and then we toured all across Canada. My memory is we play a lot of hockey.
Yeah, it was like a half arena or something that I saw.
About a half arena, absolutely.
Huh, yeah.
Their song "Heaven" had just gone number 1, so they were going gangbusters. So we were just thrilled to be on the road, and so we're just kind of getting our feet wet, and they're kind of showing us the ropes. So we had some great times. Me and Janie hit it off like a little too well. We were drinking buddies for a while there. He kidnapped me one night.
Andy? Andy?
What, did I do something wrong here?
Yes, you said it again. The crap word.
Okay, wow.
Your mother is going to be very disappointed in you.
Well, you guys, you're taking me back to a certain era.
We're making it too comfortable here. You know what? You should come and be a guest host on the show. You'd fit right in.
I will. I promise I'll come down next time. All right?
Thank God.
That would be awesome.
So I shouldn't be asking about Hot in the Shade tour questions or that.
No, absolutely.
Will that set you off into
not at all.
Profanity diatribes?
No, there would be a lot less profanity on the Kiss tour. Trust me, those guys. There's a lot of amazing stories there. But me and Janie, we hit it off so good. We were up singing Beatles songs one night. Everybody was trying to sleep, but we would not let them sleep.
Oh, nice.
But we had great times, and they were really great. They treated us really nicely. And
you don't have any recordings of that, do you?
Yeah.
No.
That would have been amazing.
That would be amazing.
We need to get that demo, though. We need to get that original demo that aired on that you were talking about.
It's getting better.
Yeah, we need to find that.
Well, that exact recording ended up on Ear Ecstasy, my first CD.
Oh, that's the exact one? Oh, wow.
That exact recording. In fact, one of the first guys to hear that was Steve Vai.
Nice.
He was in town. God, there's so many stories. He was in town with David Lee Roth. They were about to release Damn Good Times, and he went into the same studio where I was recording that song called January Sound there in Carrollton at Beltline.
Okay.
And,
wow. That's down
anyway, so he was like, check out the tunes. He says, man, I know who I'll recommend to replace me if I ever leave David Lee Roth's band. I was like, oh my God.
That would have been cool.
That was the first time I ever met Steve, and I'll never forget. He just has, and still does, so I know him so much better now, but he was the first real rock star I had met as far as somebody that had an aura about them. He just had this such a heavy vibe. It was very intimidating at first, you know.
Oh, Steve definitely, he's
But
intimidating.
he couldn't be a sweeter guy though. I mean, obviously, the more you get to know him, and if you get past the genius level stuff that's going on with him,
right?
He's an amazing human being. He really is.
That's really cool.
Anyway.
So
you're triggering all kinds of funny.
Now I have another question for you, real quick. Are you on any time of a time limit this evening? Like, can I just turn you off for a minute and play a couple of tracks and play a Danger track and play a Andy Timmons track?
I'd be honored. Absolutely.
Okay. Now the Danger track I'm going to play. I want to make sure is what I thought. Boys will be boys. Now on the credits that says it has your name on it, but I want to play it, making sure that you actually are on that recording. So.
That's
one of them?
Me.
That's awesome.
That is, I'm on 2 tracks on that first record.
Yeah.
Saturday Night and Boys Will Be Boys. You'll hear my Kramer Sustainer guitar heavily featured with these loud squealing high notes.
And when we come back, Lou wants to ask you all the geeky guitar tech questions, and I'll think of inappropriate questions about like girls on the road.
More questions.
Questions about drinking.
We can hit the dump button on it.
This is the most practice I've had since the Chicks Who Rock were here. But, okay,
Thank you for being a team player on this, Andy. We're going to go back to the first Danger record. This is Boys Will Be Boys. It's Reckless Rock Radio at KNON 89.3 FM.
Yes. I am still here. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for playing those. Thanks for playing those tunes, man. Kind of bookends of my guitar playing recorded history. You know,
we love it. Yeah. Absolutely. Now, Andy, real quick, do you have anything lined up as far as performance wise in Dallas anytime soon?
Yeah, there's a couple of gigs. In fact, we got the Dallas Guitar Show this coming weekend. You brought up Eric Gales earlier. He and I are playing on the same day on the Sunday afternoon. At the Dallas Guitar Show. And there's another guy named Matt Schofield, who's a really amazing blues rock player from the UK. Eric Johnson plays on Saturday with the original rhythm section of Kyle Brock and Tommy Taylor, which is the classic Avia Musicom era band. Mm-hmm. So lots going on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Cool. And then I'm also doing a gig at Legacy Hall up in Plano on May the 18th. That may be with a little slightly different lineup with a singer and some other players. So a lot of variety of stuff going on. But yeah, the original Andy Timmons band playing this Sunday, May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Down the Guitar Show. So come on out to that.
I think we will. Field trip, boys.
Yeah. You just recently played Guitar Sanctuary, didn't you?
Yeah, I just did a gig there. Gosh, what was it, last week? I forget.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I wanted to go see it, and I already had something that I had to go do. But who is it you played with? I couldn't remember the name.
Okay, so I did 2 sets that night. The first was I did a set of duets with a good guitar player friend of mine named Nick Knurk, and we started off kind of like, it was almost like a guitar history thing. We had like some visuals, some slides of some of our favorite players. We did some Django Reinhardt. We did some Wes Montgomery. We did some Surf. We did some Hendrix. Some Beach Boys, some Beatles. We did a bunch of different stuff. Then I have a new band called the Electric Truth. It's just kind of a good excuse for me to go out and play some blues and R&B and rock and roll stuff. So that band did everything from Strawberry Letter 23 by Brothers Johnson to B.B. King to, just whatever we felt like doing.
The hair on my arm is standing up. I have to see this.
That sounds amazing.
Well, immediately. That'll be May 18th at Legacy Hall.
I am so in. Who do I have to kill to get tickets? Legacy Hall.
Legacy Hall.
You've got connections. I'm pretty sure we can hook that up. Caller number 7. You win. Andy Timmons.
Yeah.
All right, Andy. I have to ask a stupid question.
Never.
I saw in your bio. Okay, let me take you back to what I was doing in 1989. I was in elementary school, and there was this lovely young lady on MTV, 30 damn times a day. Went by the name of Paula Abdul.
Oh my God! Yeah.
And she inspired me, or made me realize that I do, in fact, like women. Now, when I think of Paula Abdul, I don't really think of guitars, but I see you had something to do with her. Would you like to share?
I would be very happy to share. It's
and please describe in great detail what she was wearing.
Well, what's funny is I don't remember what she was wearing, but I remember just how damn cute she is. Oh my God! She was. There was a great local producer. international producer, but there was a guy that was living here in Dallas that asked me to come play. He was producing some tracks for her down at the Dallas Sound Lab, famous recording studio there in Las Colinas. And I think there was 2 or 3 tracks, and I played on it. I think only 1 or 2 made that record. Kind of just some nothing too flashy, just some acoustic guitar tracks, maybe some overdub. But she was adorable. She was a really sweet person.
Now,
my memory is she had just broken up with she just broken up with Charlie Sheen. And it was back
goodness!
It was back before there were cell phones. So they had beepers. They were sending each other these weird messages with their beep. I don't know.
I don't know why anybody would break up with Charlie Sheen. I mean, I don't know. He's a great man, right?
He's
winning, man.
Right there for sure. He's a keeper.
Now you went from Paula Abdul. Now, while we're on the same subject line, Olivia Newton-John. What's that all about?
Oh well, that's a love story right there.
Really?
Seriously. No, she. We really do love each other. I worked with her for about 15 years. I got a call one day. This goes back to the late 90s, and I'd been working with a drummer named Simon Phillips, who's this amazing, session guy from England. But he was playing in Toto at the time. But he'd play with Jeff Beck. He played with the Who. He's been, he's just one of these guys that play with everybody. But because Olivia had the same management as Toto, she was coming over to do some dates. She was living, in Australia, but she's coming over, and I needed a guitar player. So Simon calls me up and says, "Andy, you fancy working with Olivia Newton-John?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course. What the heck, So that became, literally from that moment, about 15 years worth of association with her.
Nice.
And still to this day, one of my dearest friends and an amazing human being. Just incredible. I mean, I always loved her music back in the day because she started off kind of country, then went pop and rock. She had the Grease hits and the stuff she did with Jeff Lynne, Xanadu, and all that. And but she's also into some jazzy stuff. She's an amazing musician, man. She can really sing. So that's been a real proud part of my kind of odd career. I just have always loved every kind of music as long as it's good people and good tunes. Right. Mm-hmm. I'm happy. If there's a guitar involved, man, I'm happy. You know what I mean? And so that's
good music's good music.
Absolutely. Good music. So yeah, you don't necessarily think of the guy from Danger Danger being able to do that. But you know what? One of the most amazing. Another. I quickly became her music director. So basically, I was playing guitar in her band for that first tour, and they saw that I had my S together, right? And so they made me the music director. So I got to pick and choose the band. And at one point, there was a woman that came to see us in Baltimore, and she turned out it was a bass player for David Bowie named Gail Ann Dorsey.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And so she was just like an uber Olivia fan. I thought, man, if I ever need another bass player, I know who I'm going to call. And sure enough, we needed a bass player for a tour. So I called Gail. And she says, yes, of course, I'll do that in a heartbeat. So I had Gail in the band for a while. She's out with Lenny Kravitz now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just playing the hugest rock shows ever. But she's, maybe the biggest Olivia Newton-John fan. You just never know.
So is Spicoli, I think.
Huge.
Or it's Diana Ross or something. I don't even know.
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston.
Close.
I'm sorry.
Okay, Whitney's a fine singer indeed.
I always took you for an In Vogue guy.
Right.
What's wrong with that? We can love everybody.
You're never going to get it.
Uh-oh.
See what I did there?
You will if you free your mind.
If I free my mind, the rest will follow.
Exactly.
Andy, can you answer a couple of listener questions real quick?
I would love to.
All right. The big one is, what brought you from Evansdale, Indiana to Dallas, Texas?
Okay.
How did you end up from there to here?
It's Evansville, Indiana, by the way.
What did I say? I'm sorry.
Evansdale.
My bad.
Evansdale.
I can't read my own handwriting.
Evansville. Well, it was kind of just wherever the music took me. I spent my first 2 years of college in my hometown of Evansville. I was a classical guitar major, but I was really an electric guitar player. But that my local college offered classical guitar, so I thought, well, I'll keep mom happy, stay in school. Mm-hmm. But I was playing in a rock band that was doing really well. I was taking jazz lessons, and here I am now. I'm a classical major at school. But I heard about the University of Miami in Florida having a great guitar program. Steve Morse and the Dregs had formed there.
Nice.
Pat Metheny and Jaco Pastorius had been related to the school. So that's why I ended up. So I go to Miami. I miraculously got in because it was a very tough auditioning process. But got into the school. Met some musicians there that ended up I moved with to Denton, Texas. A guy named Steve Bailey on bass and Ray Brinker on drums. Kind of heavy jazzers, but they wanted to form a rock band. So then we had a rock band called Brinker that we produced a locally produced, album released on tape. Didn't really go anywhere. But that's
What's
how I
this
ended
called?
up
I'm sorry?
It was called Brinker. Brinker.
Brinker.
We used to play the Ritz and places like that back in the day.
Oh, way cool.
And so, but that's how I ended up in Denton, and that's where I met my band, Mike Dan and Mitch Marine. In the interim, I was in a cover band called the Molly Maguires.
Oh yeah.
Which had a spin. We did a spin-off called the Revolver, which was a Beatles tribute band way back in the day.
Nice.
Before tribute bands were all the rage, but yeah, it was just kind of wherever the music led me. Basically, I never dreamed I ended up in Denton, Texas, but then I ended up in New York City, which I never thought I'd end up there either. So.
Right.
That's how it's wherever I needed to go with the guitar. So I didn't have a major plan. I just knew that I wanted to keep playing.
Where the guitar went, you followed.
That's exactly right, man. Wherever the opportunity was, I'm just blessed that it kind of worked out. I wish I could say I had some grand plan, but I just worked hard, and when I got the Danger gig, this was kind of one of those epiphanies of like, okay, recognition of what I was doing. But I was with a guy. I was traveling doing some clinics for Kramer Guitars, and this guy Don Ellis he asked me, "So how'd you get the gig in Danger?" And I said, "Oh man, I guess I just got lucky." And that's kind of how I felt in a way. But he said, "No, you didn't. You worked your bee off for years, and then when the opportunity came, you were ready."
Right. Yeah, and that's the way to do it.
I couldn't argue with that because that was exactly right. Even though I wasn't planning on doing exactly that. I started off in rock and roll. That's what I love the most. It's my foundation. And so to end up in a band like that it was part of the journey and part of the dream come true. Seeing Kiss when I was 13, going, man, this is what I want to do. And then being in a band that was then opening for Kiss, on a couple of different tours, it was kind of
that's
hard
right.
to
You
believe.
did the Hot in the Shade tour and the Revenge tour, if I'm not mistaken,
we did.
right?
The Hot in the Shade dates we did in the U.S., and then we did the Revenge tour in the UK.
Okay.
About 12 shows over there.
Nice.
So, man, some of my fondest memories, again, I couldn't have dreamed that anything like that would happen as a kid. But, and Gene and Paul were amazing, just consummate professionals, really funny, smart guys. And there's a reason they're still in the business,
I was going to say.
Oh, they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing, and love or hate the business ethic or whatever they get maligned for, but it's, they're just really smart guys. We loved them. We thought the world of them, and we were like little kids.
Well, they know how to play the game. Ultimately,
they know how to play the game. That's exactly right. But I mean, and I have read all 4 autobiographies.
Cool.
And I think one guy comes out smelling better than the other guys. I'll reserve my.
No spoilers.
Wait, no, we got to get into that. We got to pause for station ID, but I want to get your opinions on the Kiss autobiographies. Real quick. Hang on.
I'm not even going to turn the mics off again, so I'm just going to play this while we're live.
Go ahead.
You're listening to KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
And that's it.
We're the people.
Yeah.
Here's
Back with Andy Timmons, and we're talking about the Kiss autobiographies. All right, my favorite one, honestly, is Gene's, but that's because he is he's just being Gene all through his book. It's
unfiltered,
basically unfiltered,
and that's exactly what you would expect. And I love the guy. He says outrageous at times, but he's a really smart, warm, funny guy. I remember. One of the many backstage hangs we would have. He and I.
Go ahead, put your finger on the dump button. Yeah, okay.
No. Here's Gene. Here's Gene in a nutshell. It's like, Andy, every night before I go to bed, I must have 3 cookies. 3 cookies and some milk. Then he goes to tell me the stories how he was in a hotel and there was no milk and cookies, so he literally breaks into the kitchen to find milk and cookies.
Wow,
this is the debauchery that the kids get up to.
Crazy.
What did Paul Stanley need before bed?
I never talked to. I never talked to him about that.
He was more of a warm milk guy.
I don't need no milk and cookies before bed.
I know. People listen right here. I know you like the taste of milk and cookies.
Andy, can you just be our guest every night?
That's awesome.
Every Sunday. I don't even want to play music tonight.
This is the best day of my life.
I don't even want to play music. We tease some bands, but I don't think we're going to play them. We're just going to keep doing this.
And okay. So let's talk about Paul's autobiography. All those years I had no idea he was deaf in one ear. I had no earthly idea.
Yeah, it's some kind of birth defect.
Is it on the gene? Is it on the gene side of his head?
The gene side of his head.
After reading his book, I kind of liked him even more. There was all kinds of things he revealed I thought was pretty dang cool. Right. But every book was really interesting. I thought in some of the books it's like, you don't have to tell us that, you know.
Yeah, especially about Peter and Ace making out. It's like, dude,
you don't have to tell us this. It's your book. You don't have.
Gross.
But anyway, though, all great reads, man. I'm a nut for music biographies anyway.
Well, it sounds like you have enough info under your belt to write a great biography as well.
I have no idea about that, but maybe at some point
you can tell all their stories.
There's a thing. I have an instructional guitar website called, if I can plug it, it's called guitarexperience.net. Mm-hmm. And it's like I do lessons every month, basically, and I take one of my songs and I explain how to do it, basically. But one of the compartments of the website is it's like a photo gallery. Okay. But instead of a picture of me and this person and in the caption, I actually tell a whole story. I just record an audio.
Oh, cool.
Like a narration for all these stories. So in that way, it's kind of the preface to doing a book or something.
Yeah, just get a collection of those and just do an audio book that
now,
way.
That's kind of what it's turning into, because I've got pictures with, from just about everybody, I was never shot. I'm just a fan, and I'll bug anybody for a picture if I feel it's an inappropriate time.
Now, what's the name of the website?
It's called Guitar Experience, no E in front of the X, so it's guitarexperience.net.
Cool. Yeah, awesome.
So thank you for
all
that,
things Andy right there.
That's right.
All things, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to insert my one geeky guitar question.
Uh-oh.
Sure.
So in amongst all this, so that way we can get back to actually the stuff people want to hear. I'm just very curious. Okay, I'm a gear nut, so
okay.
You went from hot pink Kramer with the sustainer, Floyd Rose and everything, and then went to basically Ibanez's version of a Strat.
Exactly.
Which one would you consider really that was you out of those two?
I think that guitar that you're referencing, the AT100, which was it's basically my way of getting Ibanez to make me the ultimate Strat.
Yeah. Okay.
No, but the pink guitar that you're referencing, I never actually played that one live. That was for that Kramer ad.
That was just for the ad?
Yeah, that was just for the ad, but the guitar I was actually playing was the Floyd Rose Sustainer. That's the black Sustainer. That's the guitar you heard on Boys Will Be Boys.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I don't think they made a pink guitar with a Sustainer. I could be wrong. But then I had a couple of Hollow Flash finished guitars that had the Sustainer in it as well. That's the guitar you see in the Naughty Naughty and Bang Bang videos.
So what made you decide to change off of that? Just the whole
I just got tired.
Shredder guitar.
I got tired of the Floyd Rose. It just, as much as it was supposed to be something to help you keep in tune, I never felt it wasn't helping me. So I went back to more of either a stop tail piece or a traditional Fender style. Mm-hmm. And I had Kramer made me a Strat just out of Warmoth parts or some kind of parts. And when I started working with Ibanez, it was about 1991. Kramer went out of business, oddly enough.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, I was in a good position because Danger, had some videos on MTV, and at that point, any guitar company usually was going to want to work with you. But Ibanez was the company I really wanted to work with. So they started the process of what's your ultimate guitar? And anything with 6 strings, I had no idea.
Does it have strings? It's great.
I was just lucky to have a guitar. So we literally went through all their guitars, and they basically said, well, we want to build you whatever it is you want. And I said, well, I had this neck I really like. It was on that parts guitar Strat that Kramer had built for me. So I sent them that neck, and that's what kind of started the whole thing that became my AT100. And it's basically it's a hot rodded Strat for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, I've played one. It's an amazing guitar. It really is.
Well, thank you. No, I'm really proud of it. There was a new model we just put out called the ATZ100. It's got the roasted maple neck, and they changed the Florentines a little bit, and the headstock's a little different shape.
Okay, Greg Spicoli's over here starting to fall asleep because he's not a guitar player. So okay. What's your next question there, Spicoli?
Favorite Kiss album and least favorite Kiss album.
Okay, well, hands down, it's got to be Alive.
Yeah.
Word.
For favorite, yeah, absolutely.
Well, okay, but then Destroyer, or then Rock and Roll Over, then Love Gun.
Yeah.
You can't just decide one.
Okay.
It's like a bag of potato chips.
For the first three records, there couldn't have been Alive without the first three, and I love all of them. But Kiss Alive, again, that's how I learned how to play guitar.
Yep.
Kiss Destroyer still sounds freaking amazing. It's so great. And then, but I love Rock and Roll Over and Love Gun, and even Kiss Alive too. I mean, okay, but after that, it's kind of a mixed bag for me because I moved to different things after that. So there was kind of a pretty hard cutoff point. I think Rush had something to do with it.
I've heard of them.
Because I got into All the World's a Stage and 2112 and Trouble of the Kings and Hemispheres were huge for me.
But you didn't tell us the worst. Come on, you need to tell us the worst Kiss album. Your least favorite.
I don't have one because I think there's probably some maybe not as good ones.
Can
but
we
I don't know.
The not as good.
Let's just all agree it's Monster.
Or I thought The Elder.
No, The Elder's greatness.
Oh, man.
It's genius.
I hear a lot of. I know some of the tunes on The Elder, but what is Monster? When was that?
That's
released?
the we'll call it the Swan Song. It's pretty bad.
Oh, you know what?
Okay.
I got a question just to put Spicoli on the spot.
Oh no.
Van Halen or Van Hagar?
Uh-oh.
Is this for me?
Yes.
For you.
Well, okay. Well, dude. Well, yeah. these are tough questions because let me just say this.
Asking the hard stuff.
I'm a huge Sammy Hagar fan. That first Montrose record, easily top 5 great rock albums of all time for me.
Can't argue with that.
Chad Templeman, Ronnie Montrose, that whole band sounds great. But I grew up with the original Van Halen, man. It's just like.
You made Spicoli happy.
The sound of those early records. I mean, there's nothing like it. Now it's when they got Sammy and the band, they make great records. But I'm always a fan of the original article. That's just the way it is.
Vindicated.
Oh man,
I like them. I like them both, but I get grief because I'm a Van. I also do like Van Hagar.
They're just two very different bands. You can't really compare them.
One's awesome, the other isn't.
Oh, stop.
All right. Andy, when you're in town and you're not on the road, is there any local act or musicians you like to go check out or listen to in your car when you're taking the boy to school? Or do you have any local favorites that you dig around here?
Man, I just got to go see Tommy Katona for the first time a couple of months ago. He's got a Stevie Ray band called Texas Flood.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The guy is phenomenal. I mean, I've been hearing about him for actually several years. Man, you got to see these guys. He's just like okay, well that might be cool. And there's a lot of great cover bands, obviously. But no, when I went to see him, it wasn't like somebody was putting me on. It was real. It was like he's a really good dude. I like the guy a lot just as a person. But man, he just played. Yeah. So great, and he can sound like Stevie, but it's real, it's inside him. So I really dug that.
Right.
And of course, y'all know Maylee Thomas. I hope she's an old dear friend of mine, and so I see her and her husband is now the mayor of McKinney. By the way,
yep.
And he's really coming to his own as a guitar player. He and I first met in 1988. He came to me for a guitar lesson in Denton, Texas, when I was living up there. And we've been really tight, really good friends ever since.
Cool.
And I remember giving him a lesson or two, and I just kind of told him, "Yeah, okay, now you just got to do it."
Right.
Because there's no shortcuts. I'll give a little help you pointers along the way.
Now you have a whole album with Maylee, right?
I did a record with her called Passion back in whenever that was, about the time when I moved up to McKinney. So we're talking mid '90s, '96. I'm really proud of that record. She and I wrote the whole thing together, and I produced it. It's basically the Pawn Kings. It's Dan Wojciechowski, who's now Peter Frampton's drummer, on drums, Mike Medina on bass, and Tommy Young on keyboards. So that was a lot of fun to do. But they're still playing around town. They sound better than ever. So great. I heard you play that Jim Seward track earlier, and he's been a good friend for many years. Really, really awesome musician. Man, I'm trying to think of some other folks here, but there's so much talent in this area, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you. Yes, there is. We agree wholeheartedly.
That's
why
all we
we've been
do
doing
here.
this for 3.5 years.
That's all we do here on this show is play local music. That's it.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, it's always been so much talent. I mean, kind of everywhere you go in the world, but But Dallas has always had a high concentration, no doubt about it.
Yeah, just need to make more people aware of it. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, right on, right on.
The 1990s were very transitional for many artists,
Yeah.
maybe not just yourself, but many other in your line of, I don't want to say genre, but for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Why did you depart Danger Danger, and did the Northwest, I don't want to call it a plague, but did that affect your ability to get other gigs after that? And when I say Northwest plague, I mean the flannel, the unwashed hair, and Doc Marten boots.
Yeah, no, I had zero issue with that music, or that I really did. I thought it was great. But for me, it definitely the bands like Danger Danger had a real hard time, because basically there was a cutoff. MTV basically got to a point where it's like, well, yeah, we don't care about you. We don't care about your band. Here's this band, Pearl Jam. This is literally a quote that Kip Winger told me. He was having a meeting with Rick Grimm, and I forget who the other guy was. They used to be the heads of MTV. And back then, if you didn't have a video on MTV, you didn't get on the radio. It didn't work the other way around. Right. So Winger had a record out called Pull, maybe the third record.
Great record.
He goes,
Down Incognito.
Yeah, it was a great record. And so, but they were basically like, we're not sure if we're going to play your video, but check out this band Pearl Jam. We're going to make them the biggest band in the world. So there was kind of this cutoff of, even though these bands still had massive fan bases, and Danger Danger, on a lower level, but we were in there. People didn't know we had a second record out because they never played our video, basically. So it was tough for bands at that point. Then we made a third record for Epic that was eventually called Cockroach.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That at the time didn't get released. Now I think that's a really good record. It eventually came out. Steve West and Bruno Ravel finally got the rights to at least license it and put it out. But at the time,
cool.
they wanted to not release it, drop us from the label, and for us to get the record back, they wanted $250,000.
Nice. Wow. Yeah.
So it obviously that was not a possibility. Anyway, so it was I had a choice: stick it out in New York in a band that it had been dropped, or just come back to Texas, where I'd already kind of meaning doing
session work.
Sessions were
okay.
Session work. TV, radio, commercials, jingles, and then some album.
So
work.
That's what you did after you departed Danger Danger.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I came back. I started teaching some guitar lessons to Brooke Mays. I started to plug back into the session scene. To be honest, I was happy because I was just kind of picked up where I left off, and then. But the thing about the pivotal thing for me educationally at that time was like there was that record we just made for Epic, and then the realization of nobody's going to get to hear it because we don't own that. I don't own my work. So after that, I thought, why would I ever work so hard and put my heart into something that didn't belong to me? So after that, I kind of picked back up with the Andy Timmons band. We'd been recording all through that time that I was in Danger Danger. We had that first song, It's Getting Better, but I had recorded all these other songs. And right about this, so we're talking about 1993, and I'd been recording, I had a dozen songs at that point, and I'd been giving cassettes to friends, and I'd given a cassette to Reb Beach of what I thought were my demos. Here's all my electric guitar instrumental demos. I wanted to be like Satriani and Vi and Eric Johnson, right? So I had all these tunes that I'd done recordings with my band. I gave a cassette to Reb, and said, here's the demos for these songs. He listened to it. He goes, "What are you talking about demos? This is your record. It's done. This is amazing." So it made me think like, "Oh crap, maybe this is it," And so I realized that I'm just gonna. I didn't even send it to any record labels. I said, I'm gonna make the music I want to make. I'm gonna do it on my own terms. Fortunately, I had a studio and an engineer that was willing to work with me on spec, and I could pay him back as I sold copies.
Oh, that's nice.
Because I had no money to put into it, but so I just released it on my own. And the label that had Danger Danger on it, in those days, got a hold of me and said, "How come you didn't tell me you had a record out? I want to put it out." So I started licensing the record to other labels, and they got released in Europe.
Awesome. But
it was on my own terms, and I that's exactly how I've led my career ever since. I haven't followed any trends. Danger Danger was again my education. It was a blessing in that I got these amazing rock and roll experiences, but I also realized that, man, being on a label like that wasn't necessarily what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't necessarily this holy grail of an oh my god experience. I just wanted to be a great player and continue to grow and really write and release the music that I want to do. So that's kind of how I've done it ever since, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it was from that experience with Danger Danger, I think, that kind of formed the way I conducted the rest of my career.
Now you talked. I remember you'd mentioned before, like your Resolution album. You kind of went back to that sort of demo feel, to where you just kind of just played. You didn't try to do a lot of overdubs and stuff.
Well, really not so much demo feel. Is what I wanted to do at that point was get away from overdubs completely, and it was something that Steve Vai said to me when I did the record. And I should mention that I eventually did sign to a label, because I signed to Steve Vai's Favorite Nations label. When he formed a label in the early 2000s, I was one of the first guys he reached out to.
Oh, nice.
He was like, "Hey, I'd really like to release some of your stuff." He was the first guy that I considered working with, because he's an artist and has been through all the horrible record deals. It was the first label to come around to say, okay, after expenses, it's a 50-50 split with the artist and label.
Oh, that's really
well.
good.
That makes sense. That makes sense to me. Okay, Steve Vai, let's work together. Obviously, massive respect for the musician and massive love for the guy, just because he
that's
cares.
really cool that that's how he does that too, though. He's really taking care of the
exactly
artist.
He did it all that time. So. But I recorded a couple of tracks for that. It was a compilation of my first two records, Your Ecstasy 2, kind of like a best of. But then he wanted 4 new tracks, so I recorded 4 new tracks, and one of those was called Falling Down. And on that, there wasn't any overdubs. I had one guitar, bass, and drums. And he said to me, he goes, I really like that one song, because I can really hear the fingers on the frets. I like that part of your playing.
Nice.
And so when we got to the Resolution record, I was getting burned out with the whole guitar instrumental genre in general. I wasn't that inspired. You do a couple rhythm guitar passes and you might double or triple your parts. But because of Steve's comment to me, he said, what if I could do a whole record like that, just one guitar? And so that's what made it really challenging, because that's, it sounds simple, but it's actually infinitely harder.
Oh, nothing to hide behind.
Well, you've got plenty of other things to sit on top of it. It's just one guitar. That better be an amazing guitar tone, and your playing better be perfectly in tune. And and it's got to be interesting, right? So I had to really recreate the way I play guitar.
There's a lot less smoke and mirrors, for sure.
It's zero. It's just me and the bass and drums, and so that became exciting. That's when I really kind of got re-inspired at that time.
That's very
That's
cool.
how that record was approached. And that's how I also did the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper record.
It's Reckless Rock Radio at KNON 89.3. We're here with Andy Timmons. Once again,
Hello.
good evening, sir. Good to have you on. Thank you so much. This is a blast.
No problem, man.
Oh yeah, this is amazing.
We're having a great time.
Way past my bedtime, but
I was going to say, if you need to go soon, I understand. But since
That's
you're
all
local,
good.
you can call us anytime you want.
Gotta make sure my son's getting to bed. He's got school tomorrow. Yeah.
How old's your son?
Oh, he's 15.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why do you have to take him to school?
Because-
My dad made me walk when I was 15.
He said he needs to make sure he gets to school.
Oh, okay.
Because he's 15.
There's room for discussion for sure, but I enjoy the heck out of driving him to school every day. I really do. I love it.
That's cool. So now is he taking up guitar? I got to ask. Is he following?
No,
in the footsteps?
he played trumpet for a while in the school band, but the bug never really bit. I told he was aware early on that if he ever wanted to learn, he was in a good house for that. But
Yeah.
you
know a guy.
Just kind of. Yeah.
I got a guy. I got connections. I can help you out.
All right, so you're going to be at the Guitar Festival this Sunday afternoon playing with the Andy Timmons Band.
Andy Timmons Band, yes, and we'll be with Eric Gale's place right after us. We've got Matt Schofield right before us.
And May 18th. Excuse me. Go ahead.
No. I'm just rambling. I'm excited because Eric Johnson will be there on Saturday.
Yeah.
A lot of great players coming.
And May 18th, you're at the Legacy Hall in Plano.
Yes, sir.
I
have
need
to go.
I need to get tickets. For
Yeah, I
that,
do
definitely,
too.
yeah.
Will your old
keep
friend
it
Dale
special.
Henson from News 8 Sports be in attendance?
Why? Okay, I'm trying.
Spicoli obviously has a story.
I don't.
I don't know if I
it's
wanted
an
to
off-air
tell it.
story, but
I remember I played on some of his music beds back. God, it's been 20 years ago, but I don't know Dale other than that. Is there some story I'm not aware of?
We'll have to share it when we go to your show.
it's from my commercial FM radio days about 15 years ago.
Wow. Okay, I guess
I'll tell you about it off-air. I don't want to.
I'm out of the loop here, but, okay, but love Dale right on.
Oh yeah, he's greatness. It's nothing bad. Well,
Okay, good.
more
Awesome.
of just kind of really. That's never mind.
Never mind.
All right, I've said enough
Moving
already.
on. Moving on.
Yeah. Dale, great guy. Anyway.
All right, so sometime last year I was in my room flipping channels naked with peanut butter, as I like to do a lot. And I come upon KERA, and I'm like, oh, my God. It's Andy Timmons, and my TV wasn't up loud enough, and I thought you'd joined the Trans-Siberian Orchestra because you were dressed very, very nice. And
thank you.
You were talking about the album Sgt. Pepper because the show,
okay,
what it said on my guide said the making of Sgt. Pepper or something to that effect. And then I turned it up and it was like, oh, wow, cool. He's got an album of you guys doing Sgt. Pepper. Would you like to get into that a little bit?
Man, absolutely. That was I was very happy to be asked that they were airing a special about the Beatles, making of the Sgt. Pepper record, and Bill, the station manager, asked me if I'd come on because he knew I was a Beatle geek and expert of some notes, to come down and just kind of talk about it. And obviously, he wanted me to be able to play a little bit of my own version of the Sgt. Pepper record, which I put out actually about in 2011. So this was several years after that, obviously. But I was very happy to be asked to come be a talking head about all things Beatles and Sgt. Pepper. It was an honor. So I guess that's what you saw. And I did. I put on a jacket and a tie.
Yeah, you looked great. I thought,
I tried to look a little psychedelic there, try to Beatle out.
Do you have a favorite track off that you just love playing that speaks to your soul? I mean, I love the whole album personally. But
I do too, and the whole thing. I mean, there's so many great moments on there, but for me, the one that was one of the things I'm most proud of is "She's Leaving Home," which is kind of an outlier on that record, but it's a real beautiful ballad from McCartney.
Indeed.
And really trying to get the emotion of that track. I really think I captured some good stuff there. But I also really like just our version of "Strawberry Fields," which obviously wasn't on the Pepper record, but was recorded during
in the
those
sessions. Yep.
Yeah, it was pulled to be on a single with Penny Lane. But
now, how
that one. That was kind of the impetus of the whole Pepper record. We had done that arrangement of Strawberry Fields, and that kind of led to we should do some more Beatles stuff. And next thing I know I'm working on the whole record, but Strawberry Fields kicked it off for us. Yeah.
How intimidating was it when you were trying to figure out how you're going to pull off Day in the Life?
Oh, completely, and you know why, right?
Oh, I definitely know why.
Well, you're talking about Jeff Beck, right?
No. I'm just talking about just that song in general, just trying to orchestrate that song.
In general, yes, is a challenge. But Jeff Beck had already done it, and I'm a huge fan of his version.
Oh, yeah, his version's great.
George Martin did a record of Beatle tracks with guest artists on every song. And one of the tunes was Day in the Life. I thought, oh my God, Jeff, who's just my hero of heroes, did an incredible version. So how am I going to pull this off without sounding like I'm trying to be Jeff Beck? So I had to really go back.
That's true, yeah.
And really try to replicate as much of Lennon's vocal as I could. And then orchestrally, and of course, again, here we are without a backing band. I just got the bass and drums, but no orchestral or other supplemental harmonies. So, so that one was the hardest one to get over the hurdle mentally of okay, I can't. I'll never be Jeff Beck. I have to do my own version.
Yep.
But I think it came off okay. Nobody asked for their money back yet.
It's a good sign. No refunds yet.
Tomatoes yet.
That's because
any ideas.
Your address is Tunisia, Texas. So
yeah, right on.
Recording wise, what do you got coming up? Any new albums in the works?
Well, yeah, we've kind of pieces and parts. We've been kind of doing little bits of recording over the last 2 years. And I'm just haven't found exactly the direction yet. I do little bits I might put out online. I just been recording some stuff at my studio, but Mike Dane, my bass player from the Andy Timmons band, he and I have been co-producing the last few records, and he's been recording them, and mixing them. So, in fact, we're going to the day after the guitar show, we're going to record a few more tracks. So we're just kind of waiting for the right stuff to get it out there. But there's lots of tunes. We'll just say there's lots of tunes in the circulation. So
I'm looking forward to that.
We'll hopefully have something by next year. That would be great.
Great.
Very cool.
Andy, we can't thank you enough for coming on tonight, and
all right.
Hope we didn't take up too much of your time. We'll let you get some sleep so you can take your boy to school in the morning. But look, once again, thank you. You've made our year by calling tonight.
And you're definitely welcome. You're welcome to come in here.
And
we'll pick you up.
Careful what you wish for. Yeah.
No, not at all, man. This is way too much fun.
Exactly.
We went from a music show to a talk show, and I have no problem with that at all.
I had a text a minute ago. Do y'all know Monty Montgomery?
I know.
Incredible guitar player, singer, songwriter. He actually lives in Frisco now. He lives in Austin.
Oh, okay.
One of the most amazing guitar players you'll ever hear. Just incredible.
Oh, cool.
He was just scanning the dial. He started texting me, "Hey man, I just learned your life story." So hey to Monty out there. He's one of my favorite humans. He makes me laugh.
We got to play some of his stuff as well.
Absolutely.
Dude, you have to. He's local now, and it'll blow your mind.
It counts.
Check out Monty Montgomery. Just go find him on YouTube right now. You'll be amazed. It's like
He lives in Frisco?
He lives in Frisco now. Yeah.
Okay. Is he neighbors with King Diamond?
Could be, absolutely.
That's quite the neighborhood.
Wow. Now I want to move
Awesome,
to Frisco. Andy, thanks again, sir. We really appreciate it. We'll see you Sunday afternoon, and if not, definitely May 18th.
That sounds great.
I think it's going to be a Reckless Rock Radio field trip.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Well, we'll hang out for sure.
Great. Can we sign my new Danger CDs?
I will be glad to.
Thank you.
Man, I'm sorry it took so long to get you on. We've been doing this for about 3 years now, so.
Well, see, better late than never, and then there'll be more, hopefully.
Yeah,
Please,
absolutely.
we would love that.
Definitely.
Thank you, sir, and you have a
problem.
wonderful week, okay?
Sounds good. You guys too, man. Thanks.
Thank you so
Night.
much, man.